Well, this is a week of themes and changes and could be a pretty cool week in the sky astrologically, especially if you are on your highest timeline. Thomas Miller, thanks for joining us on the Fun Astrology podcast here for Monday, November 20th. This month is quickly slipping away, and so is Scorpio season. And that's pretty much what we're going to talk about here because would you rather have Scorpio or Pluto? But we're going to end Scorpio midweek, so it's actually going to segue into Sagittarius big time, but not before we get to take another look at that wonderful Scorpio transformational work that we can do. Okay, I'm going to break this down into a couple of components. Let's just talk about today's aspects, X the moon. And then we'll talk about the sign changes from the Sun and Mars moving into Sagittarius. And then we'll come back and we'll talk about the moon void, of course, today and the sign change later on this morning. Okay, does that sound all right? And the first big planetary aspect we have is later this afternoon. All times on the podcast are always Eastern, 4:26 p.m. The Sun sextiles Pluto. Now, this is significant, and I was kind of joking about would you rather have Scorpio or Pluto? Because all of these lunar voids, of course, are either Scorpio or Pluto all week. So this is a theme that is baked into this week, and we'll pick that apart here in a second. But this evening at 4:26 p.m. Eastern Time, the Sun, on its way out of Scorpio, is going to sextile Pluto in Capricorn. Think on a very short-term basis, but maybe looking for windows of opportunity. I've already had some this weekend, so this past weekend showed up. So this is definitely there. I've been experiencing it, but this little drumbeat of transformation as the Sun is wrapping up Scorpio season 2023, there's a last little opportunity here to take a look at changing things big time in our life. And that's the next aspect this evening that is complementary to that. Mercury trines Chiron tonight at 10:08. So only the brave shall enter here because it really does give us an opportunity, just a crack of a window, if you dare to look in, that there might be something deep in your life, deep in your soul, deep in your psyche, that this orchestrates a possibility for you to look at transforming, or at least starting the transformational process. May not wrap it all up, but boy, you could sure begin it, or you could take a step toward it. Mine is too personal. But it was a deep, old soul wound that came actually through my Chiron. So this whole thing about Mercury and the Sun hitting these transformational markers is definitely showing up. And you know now, if there's a Sun aspect, there's a Mars aspect, and because the Sun is actually ahead of Mars now, the Sun is hitting them first. So tomorrow, Mars then sextiles Pluto. And that's not until 8:18 p.m. So you've got all day today, boom, the Sun hits this afternoon, and then you've got all day tomorrow, boom, Mars hits. So that's where you get that extra power in this little window that's open. It's a crack in the window, but it is a big opportunity because the Sun and Mars are still just as powerful as they have been. So there is a lot of intensity and opportunity around this. Then we get the shift. So this is part B of what we were going to talk about. And let me just tease tomorrow, our great friend Liz Grace Christie left me a SpeakPipe message over the weekend that I want to play for you tomorrow, bringing a unique perspective to the chart, as she always does. It will open your eyes to something that you otherwise wouldn't have thought about. So that will be tomorrow, and I wanted to clear the space for that because there are no other lunar or planetary aspects tomorrow in the chart. But then Wednesday, the big day, and it is a shift day because at 9 o'clock in the morning, the Sun enters Sagittarius. Boom! Scorpio season is over, and we get to go party because we've earned it. And you'll also see where the lunar energy is complementing this too, because the moon is in Aquarius today, but moves into Pisces later today, and then Aries on Wednesday. So everything is completing. Pisces rules the 12th house, the last sign. Endings and completions, the spirituality of are you going to let this lead and guide you into higher ground, or are you going to stay in illusion and delusion and que sera, sera, whatever will be, kind of the ultimate shadow side of the aspect and not looking at what could be possible. So the next 48 hours are basically the window of opportunity to open up to explore something that the universe might want to give you the gift of healing or might want to give you the start of the gift of healing. And then we're going to shift into new beginnings, lighter energy, Mars and the sun are still going to be so close, as we talked about, all the way into December, but at least the energy will shift as the sun starts to move into Sagittarius, and then Mars early Friday morning moves into Sagittarius. Okay, let's talk about the moon here just for today. It is, as we mentioned, in Aquarius as you're waking up. And then as it leaves Aquarius, it squares the sun in Scorpio, that late degree of Scorpio that we just talked about. That happens at 5:49 this morning, that last aspect. So that begins the void, of course. By 9:30 this morning, all times Eastern, the moon enters Pisces. And then the last aspect that the moon makes before the three other voids, of course, the rest of this week are Mars in Scorpio Wednesday, and then aspects to Pluto and Capricorn on Friday and next Sunday. So now you can kind of see these two themes of the week, right? There's this transformational shift theme, Pluto, Scorpio, Chiron, Pisces, and then there's the lighter energy of Sagittarius, the oh, God, I can breathe. That boot's not on my throat anymore. And the new beginnings when the moon moves into Aries on Wednesday afternoon. So there you go. I just say this is, if you're playing your highest timeline, you get what I just said, and you're looking forward to the opportunities. And then if not, que sera, sera. See you back tomorrow. Right? But you guys are A-teamers, so we'll see you on the court. And I'll be back tomorrow with Liz Grace and her little bit, and we'll see you then. Bye-bye. Have a wonderful Monday.